Cold air wrapped itself around the bus stop like an invisible blanket made of ice. Christmas lights flickered weakly across the street, struggling against the heavy gray sky, and the smell of snow hung thick in the air. People hurried past with shopping bags and warm coats, laughter echoing briefly before disappearing again. But at the far end of the bus stop, time seemed slower. Heavier. Nathan Blackwood stood there alone. Forbes called him a billionaire. News channels called him a genius. His employees called him Sir, but tonight none of that mattered. His driver was late. His phone had died hours ago. For the first time in years, there was no glass wall between him and the world. He adjusted the collar of his expensive coat, more out of habit than comfort. The cold didn't bother him as much as the silence did. Christmas Eve had always been the hardest night. Ever since the accident, he avoided it flying overseas, burying himself in meetings, pretending it was just another date on the calendar. That plan had failed tonight. A small voice broke through his thoughts. Mom said Santa forgot us again. Nathan glanced toward the sound. A boy stood a few feet away, no older than 7. His hair was messy, his cheeks red from the cold, and his jacket looked thin, worn at the elbows. He spoke softly, not complaining, not crying, just stating a fact as if he had already accepted it. Next to him sat a woman, holding a toddler wrapped tightly in a faded blanket. The toddler slept, unaware of the cold, unaware of the world. The woman's eyes were tired, the kind of tired that sleep couldn't fix. She pulled the blanket closer, shielding the child from the wind. Nathan looked away instinctively. He had learned how to do that well. You couldn't save everyone. You couldn't fix every broken thing. That was what he told himself, but the boy kept talking. It's okay, the boy added quickly, glancing up at his mother as if worried he had said something wrong. Maybe Santa is just really busy this year. The woman forced a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Yes, sweetheart. That's probably it. Nathan felt a strange pressure in his chest. He told himself it was the cold. The digital sign above the bus stop flickered. Delayed 55 minutes. An hour. An hour in this cold. Nathan stepped closer before he could talk himself out of it. You've been waiting long? He asked. The woman looked up sharply, her body tensing. We're fine, she said quickly, protective. We'll manage. Nathan nodded. I didn't mean... He stopped, searching for the right words. Words had never failed him in boardrooms. Here, they felt useless. It's freezing. That's all. The boy looked at Nathan with open curiosity, studying him from polished shoes to tailored coat. You look like you work in a big building, he said. Nathan almost smiled. I do. Do they have Santa there? The boy asked seriously. Nathan swallowed. Images flashed through his mind, vast lobbies decorated with massive trees, gifts exchanged out of obligation, champagne poured for people who already had everything. They have decorations, he said. Not much Santa. The boy nodded thoughtfully. Figures? The wind gusted harder, making the woman shiver despite herself. Nathan noticed her hands red, cracked, gripping the toddler like letting go would mean losing everything. Where are you heading? Nathan asked gently. She hesitated, then sighed. Anywhere warm. The shelter said they're full tonight. Holiday overflow. She looked down, ashamed for reasons Nathan couldn't understand. We thought maybe the buses would keep running late. The boy tugged on her sleeve. It's okay, Mom. We can sleep sitting up. I don't mind. Nathan felt the pressure in his chest turn sharp. He remembered another Christmas Eve, a small hand in his. A boy laughing as snow fell for the first time. A promise made and broken by fate. He hadn't thought about that night in years. He had buried it under contracts and acquisitions and silence. The bus stop felt suddenly too. Small. Nathan took off his coat before he fully realized what he was doing. He held it out to the boy. Here, he said. The woman's eyes widened. No, I couldn't. It's warm, Nathan interrupted softly. And I have another one at home? That was a lie. But it didn't matter. The boy hesitated, looking at his mother. She nodded slowly, tears threatening to spill. Thank you, she whispered. The boy slipped into the coat. It swallowed him, sleeves too long, but he grinned like it was the best gift he'd ever received. "Wow," he said. "It smells like soap." Nathan laughed quietly despite himself. "Santa didn't forget you," Nathan said, surprising even himself with the words. "He just asked me to help?" The boy's eyes widened. "Really?" Nathan nodded. "Really?" The toddler stirred, letting out a small cry. The woman rocked her gently, whispering soothing words. "I'm sorry," she said to Nathan. "It's been a long day." Nathan shook his head. "You don't need to apologize." Another gust of wind blew snow across the pavement. Nathan glanced at the hotel across the street, its windows glowing warm and gold. "Come with me," he said suddenly. The woman stiffened again. "Excuse me?" "There's a hotel right there," Nathan said, pointing. "They'll have heat, food. You shouldn't be here tonight." Her voice shook. "I don't have money." Nathan met her eyes. "I do." Silence stretched between them. The boy looked between them. Hope and fear mixed together. "We can't just take," she began. "You're not taking," Nathan said firmly. "You're surviving." Finally, she nodded. They crossed the street together. The warmth hit them immediately, making the boy sigh out loud. The lobby was decorated with a tall Christmas tree covered in lights and ornaments. The boy stopped in his tracks. "Mom," he whispered. "It's like the movies." Nathan checked them in without hesitation. Dinner was ordered. Hot chocolate arrived, steaming and sweet. The boy wrapped his hands around the mug like it was treasure. Later, when the children were asleep in crisp white sheets, the woman sat across from Nathan at a small table. She told him everything. About her husband. About the accident. About losing their home one bill at a time. About how Christmas had become something to get through instead of something to celebrate. Nathan listened. He didn't interrupt. He didn't check his watch for the first time in years. He felt present. Outside, snow continued to fall, and somewhere deep inside Nathan Blackwood, something long frozen began to thaw. Morning arrived softly, as if the world itself didn't want to disturb the fragile peace inside the hotel room. Pale winter light filtered through the curtains, touching the edges of the neatly made beds and the small Christmas tree placed near the window. For the first time in weeks, the room was warm, quiet, safe. The boy woke first. He sat up slowly, unsure for a moment where he was. Then he saw the tree, the lights, the thick blanket wrapped around him. He smiled so wide it almost hurt. "Mom," he whispered urgently, shaking her arm. "Mom, wake up. Santa really didn't forget us?" His mother stirred, confusion crossing her face before memory returned all at once. The bus stop. The man, the warmth. She pushed herself upright, heart racing, half afraid it had all been a dream. WASN single quotes. Nathan Blackwood stood by the window, looking out at the snow-covered street below. He hadn't slept much. He rarely did on Christmas. But this time, it wasn't because of loneliness, it was because his mind wouldn't stop replaying the boy's voice. The woman's tired eyes, the way something inside him had shifted. "You're still here," the woman said softly. Nathan turned and nodded. "I thought we could have breakfast together." "If that's okay." The boy jumped out of bed. "Is it Christmas morning?" Nathan smiled. "It is." They ate downstairs in the quiet restaurant where soft music played and staff moved slowly, respectfully, as if everyone understood the importance of the day. The boy ate like he hadn't seen food in days, glancing up every few seconds as if afraid it might disappear. The toddler laughed for the first time Nathan had heard, smearing jam across her fingers. The woman watched her children with a mixture of relief and guilt. "I don't know how to thank you," she said again, voice low. "I don't even know your name." "Nathan," he replied. "And you don't need to thank me." "But people don't just do this," she said quietly. "Not without wanting something." Nathan paused. That question struck deeper than she knew. He thought of contracts built on expectations, favors exchanged for loyalty, kindness measured in returns. "I don't want anything," he said honestly. "I just didn't want them to be cold." The boy leaned closer. "Are you lonely?" he asked suddenly. The woman froze. I'm sorry, Nathan raised a hand gently. It's okay. He considered the question carefully. Yes, he said. I think I am. The boy nodded like that made perfect sense. My mom says lonely people aren't broken. They're just waiting. Nathan felt his throat tighten. After breakfast, Nathan asked if the woman would walk with him outside. Snow crunched beneath their feet as they stepped onto the quiet street. My name is Elena, she said. I used to teach art before. Everything. What do you need right now? Nathan asked. She hesitated, then laughed bitterly. Everything. Nathan didn't smile, but his voice was steady. Then let's start small. By noon, things moved quickly. Too quickly for Elena to fully process. Nathan made phone calls, not as a billionaire issuing orders, but as a man asking for help with purpose. An apartment modest, warm, already furnished. 6 months paid. Utilities included. Elena cried when she saw it. She tried to refuse. She failed. I'll work, she insisted. I can't just. You will, Nathan said gently. I have an opening in one of my foundation's community centers. Art classes for children, paid with childcare. Her hands trembled. You don't even know me. Nathan looked at her children safe, laughing, alive. I know enough. Later that afternoon, Nathan returned with bags, clothes, shoes that fit. Toys chosen carefully, not excessive, not flashy. The boy hugged a small train set like it was priceless. This is the best Christmas ever, he whispered. Nathan watched from the doorway, heart aching in a way that felt strangely good that evening. As the sun dipped low and snow began falling again, Elena stood beside Nathan at the apartment window. Why are you really doing this? She asked, her voice calm but searching. Nathan didn't answer right away. I had a son, he said finally. He would have been about your boy's age now. His voice wavered only slightly. He died years ago. And since then, I built walls so high I forgot what it felt like to be human. Elena swallowed. I'm sorry. So was I, Nathan said. Until last night. The boy ran up and hugged Nathan's leg without warning. You can come visit us, he said seriously. Santa helpers shouldn't be alone. Nathan knelt and hugged him back, holding on longer than he meant to. Months passed. Nathan kept his promise. Elena worked. The children thrived. Nathan visited not as a savior, but as a friend. Sometimes just to sit, sometimes to listen, sometimes to laugh. Christmas came again, this time. They weren't at a bus stop, they were home, and Nathan Blackwood finally understood, something money had never been able to buy that sometimes. The greatest gift wasn't being remembered, but remembering how to care.